New developments in the death of OJ Simpson.
Well, the former Heisman Trophy winner and actor has died at the age of 76. Simpson's family announced his death on social media today, saying the cause of death was prostate cancer.
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, not guilty of the crime of murder.
And he's, of course, most well known for being acquitted in the 1994 killing of his ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend Ron Goldman. Well, it was a trial of the century, and an estimated 150 million people watched the verdict announced live.
And it forever left an impact in courtrooms across the nation. Anchor Ann Wyatt Little sat down with Queen City News political analyst Khalif Rhodes to talk about the impact the case had on the legal world.
But Khalif, OJ's legacy was forever changed by the June 1994 slayings of his wife and her friend in Los Angeles. Acquitted of those murder charges, later found liable in a civil case. This was such a sensational trial to follow.
I mean, you're talking about the impact that this had. It just didn't impact the legal profession. This impacted everything. I mean, it across boundaries. You had this larger than life individual that's out there, and then all of a sudden he's charged with this crime, and the whole world's watching. So it changed the way that media looked at things. As opposed to us talking about the news, they actually were giving commentary about this court case. So it birthed the court TV era. I mean, the legal profession, they tell you in law school, never ask a question you don't know the answer to. Well, the prosecutor asked him to put the gloves on, and it didn't fit. So then what did it do? It birthed one of the famous quotes ever: if it doesn't fit, you must acquit. I mean, I remember this like, you know, I can remember anything else. Most generations, they'll have 9/11, they'll have Pearl Harbor, they'll have D-Day. But I think for us, I can clearly remember being in school, them rolling in the televisions, and us watching on October 3rd when the verdict came out. And it gave us a glimpse and insight into this country. It gave us a little bit of, you know, race relations at the time. And a little bit of it still now. I think it was across, you know, race lines, where you had a number of folks across the country that were really frustrated about the outcome, and you had a certain segment of the country that was extremely happy with the outcome, even if folks really didn't know where the facts lied and where the actual jury should have came out. I think it showed us that we had a lot of ground to cover during that time as a country. In law school, they talk about this case and how you can build a legal team, this dream team that they had, and they were out there, you know, defending their client. And like, you had Johnny Cochran with his, you know, pizzazz and placating for the jury. But then you had Shapiro that was, you know, executing. You had all these guys that brought so many different things to the table. And then you had the prosecution that was trying their case and doing it on a high level. And so everyone was watching. And then I'd also say you had a judge that kind of wanted the limelight. You had this guy, Lance Ito, that wanted to be a part of it, that wanted to invite the cameras in. He was saying it for transparency, but I think he wanted some of the glitz and glam of Hollywood.
Now that OJ has passed, could we see any more claims against his estate?
That is a possibility, because remember, he had the $33.5 million that he owed to the family. And so once his estate ends and once it goes through the process, if there are any funds left, you know, from the sale of houses, from the sale of memorabilia, you know, remember he had the incident in Las Vegas trying to get his memorabilia back. And so if any of those funds are out there, it will be in order. You'll know if he owes the federal government, they'll be in first. If there's any state liens, they'll be second. And then if there are any type of judgments or liens regarding this case, that one will also be out there. So yes, they can go after his estate to get any funds that they can recoup, because I'm assuming that he would have been paying that off over time. But now, if there's a lump sum of money, they'll get first bite at it.
There's still a lot of questions about exactly what happened. Could we learn anything more from his attorneys?
Not necessarily. You know, this rule of attorney-client privilege, it's there to protect those confidential conversations between a person that's looking for legal representation and their attorney. And in the movies, most of the time, it's like, okay, the person died, now the attorney can talk. Well, in real life, it doesn't work like that. If the client dies, the attorney cannot talk about it regardless, unless they've given them written permission. And sometimes in law school, they'll bring up those cases where they'll say, hey, my client gave me express permission to talk about what he told me after he died. Okay, now he's confessed to the murders or something like that. But unless something like that is out there, it's not happening.
All right, Khalif Rhodes, thank you for your insight on this case and its impact on the legal profession.